They're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. Yeah, like I'm sitting around,
They're attempting to persuade me I'm crazy. They were attempting to inspire me to take maniacal drug, definitely like I'm lounging around you realize I was worried yet individuals that were letting me know I was crazy. I accept that they realized it was continuing, so it appears as though Dave Chapelle may be stepping in to have Wendy Williams back as per the gray plant word on the road. Is he's attempting to surrender her a heads about what's going down in the business, supposedly Dave sounding that caution expressing Wendy's in some serious difficulty, and in the event that she doesn't get the assistance she wants quickly, the people pulling the strings may very well prevail with regards to disposing of her. Currently, Hollywood's a wild spot, right? Distinction and fortune, sure, but on the other hand, it has its reasonable portion of bizarre sicknesses springing up among probably the greatest names in the business. And the thing is, a ton of these people are referred to for being hardcore, yet unexpectedly, they're struck somewhere near secretive diseases no one appears to have known about before. It resembles their succumbing to some concealed power constrained by the tip-top who call the shots in the background. Wendy Williams is most certainly no outsider to contention of bold television. Moderator never her withdrawing from handling the extreme issues. She didn't mind who she was taking on when it came to going about her business. No one could hinder her, except for now it seems like the Rye powers that attempted to quietness Dave Chappelle and others are coming for her. I mean, how can somebody change so abruptly? It has people scratching their heads, yet presently Dave is by all accounts moving forward to reveal some more insight into the circumstance. So, how about we make a plunge? So, Wendy's going through a few difficult stretches of late. Word on the road is she's been managing some serious monetary woes, guaranteeing individuals SW cleaned all her money and left her bankrupt in addition to there's discussion that people are naming her as insane. Yet we should be genuine, this isn't precisely another story in Hollywood. We've seen this example work out with lots of celebs. Before brief they're enjoying some real success, and the following they're being discounted as insane or unsound. Simply ask Dave Chappelle, he knows pretty much everything there is to know about it. Feline Williams even stood in opposition to it, dropping some reality bombs about Dave's experience. As per him, Dave V was fundamentally destroyed by the business subsequent to making a boatload of money. They attempted to undermine him, offering him peanuts, contrasted with what he was owed. And when Dave attempted to defend himself, they hit him with the insane name, attempting to quiet him and stain his standing. Dave Chappelle was executed before us. They said your fans will accept that you're an insane crackhead when you return home, and my got on the trip in LA. And when he got to Ohio, it was so, and here's the kick. The ones harming or phrasing us aren't a few far-off foes yet. The ones we fellowship with, the ones we consider family. It's a cruel reality, yet it's valid, and in the event that you've seen the Dave Chappelle and Oprah Winfrey interview, you'll know precisely exact thing people are looking at. Something about that sit-down gave individuals something else entirely about Oprah. She was, by all accounts, pushing an alternate plan, so Dave moved up on her show to let the cat out of the bag on why he turned down an astounding $50 million proposal from Funny TV and plunged to Africa. He was attempting to make sense of that enormous cash. Bargains isn't all daylight and rainbows. They accompany a few serious surprises. Yet Oprah wasn't letting Dave free that simple. She continued squeezing him, attempting to cause him to concede. He went insane. Dave resembled you. That's the last straw. Oprah hit him with questions like associates detailed. You turned out to be progressively jumpy. Would you say you were distrustful? And Dave, being the legend he is, answered with sure, what's an individual of color without his neurosis? You win $100, you're actually investigating your shoulder. On the Metro, partners were cited as saying that you had become progressively suspicious. Would you say you were neurotic? Certain above all else. What is a person of color without his neurosis? And Oprah, not easing up, inquired as to whether Dave went to a mental clinic in South Africa. Dave, with his unique mind, was like who Oprah diligent at any point continued to push, and Dave spread it out. Individuals around him were pushing for him to take hostile to crazy prescriptions, yet Oprah dismissed it like it was not a problem, rehashing that Dave was recently worried and neurotic. So did you go to a mental clinic in South Africa? Better believe it. Who gracious, Dave wasn't having it. However, he spilled more tea discussing how people were attempting to get him on prescriptions, and he wasn't having any of that control game. He directly upset I'm not taking this medication, man, since I realize these individuals be attempting to control you or perhaps ruin you. I was apprehensive. Oprah, adhering to her account, demanded he was focused on Dave, kept it genuine, saying no inquiry, except for it's extremely unpleasant for somebody to continually stroll behind you and say you're crazy prepared. I was apprehensive, like yet you were worried. That is the reason there no inquiry, except for it's exceptionally distressing for somebody to continue it. Ellie stroll behind you and say you're crazy. He likewise made sense of how hitting that new level wrecks with your head, requiring time to conform to the totally different energy. Dave's been in the showbiz game since he was 14, so he's seen the in the background dramatization unfurl when Oprah squeezed him about the narratives he's heard. He became genuinely about stars like Mariah Carey catching serious deals and afterward unexpectedly running wild. Laurence Olivier also waving a firearm on the road, guaranteeing they're on a mission to get him. That odd stuff happens when they're near the precarious edge of the following huge vocation movie. I mean, you see before, look, blemish Carey made a $100 million arrangement. And after 90 days, she's out of nowhere, strangely insane or Lawrence punches through, and he's waving a weapon on the road, shouting they're attempting to kill me. The situation resembled a chess match, and Dave wasn't playing Ooper game. The man had his purposes behind skipping, and he wasn't off allowing anybody to screw with his head. Dave has additionally been open about how the business attempted to turn up the pressure on him. Once upon a time, it got so extraordinary that he straight up streamed off to Africa, leaving his hit show behind when it was at its pinnacle. The strain and everything. Those moral worries about where his show was going just became excessively, and he wasn't going to allow them to make major decisions. Likewise, someone else, the business purportedly attempted to fight with. As Kanye West, Kanye's never been one to beat around the bush, particularly with regards to getting down on the people pulling the strings. He directly said that a few big cheeses have a hold over certain celebs, and he's even tossed around the possibility that he's unapproachable, like he can get out anything he desires without results. I can express what I might be thinking and not go to prison. You tells the camera they have no control over me. You get what I'm talking about? They have some control over Shake. They have some control over Charles Barkley. They have some control over LeBron James. They have some control over Jay-Z and Beyonce, yet they have no control over me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name, it's up. Yeah, then raised his departed mother, guaranteeing she was forfeited prior to adding I'm the P that never K. No one except for that implies I can get out anything I desire. My mom ain't here. My mom was forfeited. You can't send none of your factories, you all puffies, you all little boots. None of these names, none of these individuals that need to pay attention to you all. I never K. No one. I'm the P that never K. No one except for that implies I can get out anything I desire. He then proceeds to specify Michael Jordan's dad, hinting that the ball legend's father was comparably forfeited. They had some control over LeBron James. They have some control over Jay-Z and Beyonce, yet no you, man. Except for they have zero control over me. See? Ain't no name I won't name, it's up now. Whether Ye's cases hold any reality, or then again assuming that he blending the pot stays unsure. This adds one more layer to the intricacies of the music business, and as additional accounts arise, it ends up being progressively upsetting, and presently, it appears as though Wendy's up to speed in a comparable tempest in the midst of every one of her battles and medical problems. Word on the road is she stayed in some detached office with her family, left in obscurity about where she